You reach for that familiar chocolate bar. Rich aroma fills your senses. Smooth texture promises comfort. A moment of indulgence after a long day. But hidden inside that wrapper are heavy metals silently poisoning your kidneys and heart. Today, we expose 11 chocolate brands failing Australian seniors and reveal 2 that are actually safe. Coming in at number 11, we have Cadbury Dairy Milk. Australia grew up with Cadbury, the purple wrapper, the glass, and a half promise. Generations of trust built into every block. Your parents gave it to you. You gave it to your children. Now your grandchildren expect it at every family gathering. But that trust is crumbling under laboratory scrutiny. Independent testing has revealed concerning levels of cadmium in Cadbury dark chocolate products. Cadmium does not flush from your system easily. It accumulates in your kidneys over months and years, creating invisible damage you cannot feel until it is too late. For seniors already managing blood pressure or taking medications that stress the renal system, this creates compounding damage happening beneath the surface every single day. The smooth melt on your tongue gives no warning. The familiar sweetness masks what your taste buds cannot detect. Every square adds to a toxic burden your body was never designed to carry. The creamy texture you associate with comfort is delivering compounds that stress your cardiovascular system with each indulgent bite. Cadbury generates billions in revenue globally. They have the resources to source cleaner cocoa. They have the laboratories to test rigorously. They have the supply chain leverage to demand better from their suppliers. Instead, they continue selling products while the contamination hides behind that iconic purple packaging that Australians have trusted for over a century. Think about how often that Cadbury block sits in your pantry. Think about the grandchildren you share it with during school holidays and Christmas celebrations. Think about what that familiar wrapper is really delivering into bodies you love most in this world. The betrayal runs deep because the trust ran deep. At number 10, we have Lindt. Lindt promises Swiss precision. Master chocolatiers perfecting their craft over generations. Excellence guaranteed by centuries of tradition. The smooth melt, the satisfying snap when you break a square. You pay premium prices expecting premium safety in return. The reality is far more troubling than those elegant gold boxes suggest. Consumer Reports testing found multiple Lindt dark chocolate bars exceeded safe daily cadmium limits when consuming just 1 ounce. 1 ounce. That is barely a few squares. That is less than what most people eat in a single sitting. For seniors who enjoy a daily piece of dark chocolate, believing it supports heart health, the mathematics become genuinely frightening. Cadmium is classified as a human carcinogen by the World Health Organization. It damages kidneys progressively. It weakens bones over time. It interferes with calcium absorption, which is critical for seniors already at risk for osteoporosis. Every time you reach for that elegant Swiss chocolate, you trust you are delivering compounds your body cannot safely eliminate, no matter how efficiently your organs function. The golden Lindt stores and shopping centers showcase pristine alpine imagery, snow-capped mountains, crystal-clear streams, master chocolatiers in white coats. What they do not showcase is where contamination enters the supply chain and why they continue selling products that fail independent safety tests conducted by organizations with no financial stake in the results. You pay 3 times the price of regular chocolate, expecting 3 times the quality and 3 times the safety. What you receive is the same heavy metal contamination, wrapped in fancier foil with a fancier origin story attached. The premium experience stops at the packaging. The dangers continue into your bloodstream. Now at number 9, we have Hayes Chocolates. Hayes positions itself as Australia's oldest family chocolate maker. Premium handcrafted quality since 1915. Over a century of chocolate-making tradition. The beautiful packaging with its heritage design. The story of family dedication passed through generations. You pay extraordinary prices expecting extraordinary standards, because that is what heritage should mean. But premium prices do not guarantee clean cocoa. Heavy metals enter chocolate through soil contamination at the source thousands of kilometers away from those beautiful Adelaide stores. Unless companies specifically test for and reject contaminated batches, those toxins reach your kitchen regardless of the price tag attached or the family story printed on the box. The rich aroma when you open a Hayes box is intoxicating. The craftsmanship is evident in every single piece. The chocolate literally glistens under store lighting. Nothing about the experience signals danger. That is precisely the problem with heavy metal contamination. It is invisible to your eyes. It is undetectable to your taste buds. It accumulates silently until it manifests as health problems years later, when the damage has already been done. For seniors who save haze for special occasions like birthdays and anniversaries, and Christmas morning, the betrayal cuts even deeper. You chose the most premium option available in the Australian market. You believed that investment protected your family. You trusted that heritage meant quality, meant safety. The contamination was there anyway, hiding behind tradition and beautiful gift boxes. What does it say about the entire chocolate industry? When even the most expensive brands cannot guarantee safety from basic contaminants that laboratories can easily detect? At number 8, we have Nestle. Nestle owns dozens of chocolate brands sold worldwide. Kit Kat, Aero, Smarties, Milky Bar. The sheer scale of their operation means their sourcing. Decisions affect millions of consumers across dozens of countries simultaneously. And those decisions have consistently prioritized profit margins over consumer safety for decades. Testing has found elevated levels of both lead and cadmium across various Nestle chocolate products sold in multiple markets. Lead is a neurotoxin that does not belong in food at any level. For seniors, lead exposure has been directly linked to accelerated cognitive decline, memory issues that seem like normal aging, increased blood pressure that medications struggle to control. If you are already taking blood pressure medication, lead works against everything your medication is trying to accomplish. The two forces battle inside your body while you believe you are simply enjoying an innocent treat. Your doctor adjusts your dosage, not knowing that chocolate is undermining every prescription they write for you. Nestle has faced contamination scandals across multiple product categories spanning multiple decades. Their track record speaks clearly and consistently. Size does not equal safety. Global distribution does not mean global quality control. Marketing budgets do not translate into testing budgets. The familiar brands you trusted as a child may be silently harming you as an adult because nothing fundamental changed except the packaging design. That Kit Kat you grab at the petrol station checkout seems harmless. 4 crispy fingers of momentary pleasure, a small reward for getting through the week. What the wrapper does not mention is the toxic payload hiding in that chocolate coating that surrounds each wafer. Have a break. Have a Kit Kat. Have some heavy metals your body cannot process. If this information is helping you make safer choices at the supermarket, hit subscribe now. It is free, and it means you will never miss these important exposés that could protect your health. Moving to number 7, we have Aldi Moser Roth. Aldi built its entire reputation on premium quality at discount prices. Beat the brands they promised. And the Moser Roth dark chocolate range looks expensive. German engineering applied to chocolate. High cocoa percentages for sophisticated palates. Elegant packaging that would not look out of place in a specialty store. You believe you are getting luxury chocolate at everyday supermarket prices. Independent laboratory analysis tells a different story. Testing found Moser Roth dark chocolate contained concerning levels of heavy metals that exceed recommended daily exposure limits. The 85% cocoa bar marketed specifically to health-conscious consumers, seeking antioxidant benefits, tested particularly high for cadmium concentration. Here is the cruel irony that should make every health-conscious senior pause. You reach for high-percentage dark chocolate because you have read studies saying it supports heart health. You believe you are making a smart choice for your cardiovascular system. Instead, you are consuming concentrated levels of heavy metals that stress the very organs you are trying to protect. The higher the cocoa percentage, the more concentrated the contamination becomes. The discount price feels like a win. You congratulate yourself for finding quality without the department store markup. Your trolley is full of smart choices that protect your budget. But the savings mean nothing when the product accumulates toxins in your kidneys over years. That dollar you saved costs you something far more valuable. Aldi's cheerful weekly catalogs promote value and quality and special buys. What they do not promote is transparent sourcing information or heavy metal testing protocols or independent quality verification for their chocolate suppliers operating overseas. What is the worst supermarket chocolate you have ever tried? Drop your answer in the comments below. We read every single one. At number 6, we have Cocoa Black. Cocoa Black emerged as Australia's answer to premium artisan chocolate. Beautiful. Stores in upscale shopping centers. Handcrafted bonbons displayed like jewels under glass. The experience of choosing each piece from gleaming display cases, while staff in black aprons describe flavor profiles. You feel sophisticated and discerning, making your selections because the entire experience is designed to make you feel that way. But artisan does not mean clean. Small batch does not mean tested for contaminants. Premium presentation does not filter heavy metals from cocoa beans before they reach the kitchen. Unless a company specifically implements rigorous independent testing protocols, those contaminants reach consumers, regardless of how beautiful the packaging looks or how elegant the store design appears. The velvet texture of a cocoa black truffle, dissolving slowly on your tongue, is genuinely exceptional. The flavor profiles are complex and layered with notes that reveal themselves over time. Nothing about the sensory experience raises alarm. That is why independent testing matters so much. Your taste buds cannot protect you from what they cannot detect, no matter how refined your palate becomes. For seniors who treat themselves to Cocoa Black on special occasions, believing quality protects them, this represents a fundamental betrayal of trust. You researched the brand online. You chose deliberately based on reviews. You paid premium prices that should guarantee premium safety. And the industry-wide contamination problem was there anyway, invisible and unaddressed and unreported. Stick around because the safe options are coming at the very end of this video, and they could change how you shop for chocolate forever. Coming in at number 5, we have Pana Chocolate. Pana Chocolate built its entire identity on being the clean alternative for conscious consumers. Organic certification prominently displayed. Raw processing methods celebrated. Vegan formulation for ethical eaters. No refined sugar for the health-aware. The packaging screams health-conscious from every angle. The prices confirm it. You pay premium expecting purity, because that is what the entire brand promises. But organic certification does not test for heavy metals at all. Raw processing does not filter cadmium from beans. Vegan ingredients do not guarantee consumer safety. The contamination comes from the soil, where cocoa trees grow in tropical regions around the world. Unless companies specifically source from low-contamination regions and implement additional testing protocols, the toxins reach your kitchen regardless of how many health claims appear on the beautifully designed label. The earthy, rich flavor of Pana Chocolate gives no indication of contamination. The clean ingredient list seems trustworthy and transparent. You did the research comparing brands online. You avoided preservatives and refined sugars that concerned you. You paid 3 times the price of conventional chocolate blocks at the supermarket. The clean label movement promised transparency and honesty. What it actually delivered was expensive marketing, without the rigorous independent testing required to actually protect consumers from real dangers. Premium prices bought premium packaging and premium lifestyle photography for Instagram. They did not buy premium safety for your kidneys and cardiovascular system. At number 4, we have Loving Earth. Loving Earth positions itself as ethical chocolate for conscious Australian consumers who care about more than just taste. Fair trade sourcing that supports farming communities. Environmental sustainability practices that protect ecosystems. Direct connection to cocoa farmers that creates transparency. You feel good buying it because your purchase supports something meaningful beyond your own pleasure. But ethical sourcing and consumer safety are 2 entirely different concerns that do not necessarily overlap. Direct trade relationships with farmers do not include heavy metal testing laboratories at origin. Sustainable farming. Practices do not filter cadmium from soil that has accumulated the element over geological time. Transparency about farming origins does not extend to transparency about contamination levels in finished products. The packaging features beautiful photography and inspiring origin stories that connect you emotionally to distant places. You feel connected to cocoa farmers working in tropical forests. You believe your premium purchase protects both them and you because the narrative suggests everyone benefits. The heavy metal contamination breaks that comforting illusion completely. Single-origin chocolate often comes from specific regions, with naturally elevated cadmium levels in volcanic soil. The very authenticity the brand celebrates may be delivering concentrated toxins into your system. Geological reality does not care about marketing narratives or fair trade certification or emotional connection. The soil contains what it contains. For seniors who specifically seek out ethical chocolate, believing it represents higher quality standards, this is devastating news. You aligned your purchases with your values deliberately. You paid premium prices for that meaningful alignment. The contamination was there anyway, embedded in the very soil the marketing celebrates and photographs. Now at number 3, we have Whittaker's. Whittaker's is New Zealand's most beloved chocolate brand, with passionate fans across the Tasman. Family-owned for 5 generations spanning over a century. The creamy peanut slab that defined childhoods. The iconic packaging that has barely changed in decades. Trans-Tasman trust that seems unshakable because it has been built over generations of consistent quality and genuine care for customers. But independent testing has found concerning levels of heavy metals in various dark chocolate products across the entire industry. And Whittaker's is not immune to contamination issues affecting the global cocoa supply chain. The problems exist at source in tropical growing regions. They affect all manufacturers regardless of their heritage or family ownership structure, or brand reputation, or consumer loyalty built over generations. Lead accumulates in bones and soft tissue over years and decades of regular consumption. Cadmium targets kidneys, specifically causing progressive damage to your body's filtration system. Neither compound can be tasted or smelled or seen with your eyes, no matter how carefully you examine what you eat. You would never know they were present unless independent laboratories tested specifically for them using expensive specialized equipment. The satisfying crack when you break a Whittaker's block is distinctive and genuine. The flavor is genuinely exceptional, compared to multinational competitors who cut corners on quality. New Zealanders and Australians have trusted this brand for generations because it delivered consistent quality, decade after decade, when other brands compromised. But heritage does not filter. Heavy metals from cocoa beans. Family ownership does not guarantee clean sourcing from contaminated regions. Tradition does not protect you from geological contamination, occurring thousands of kilometers away in growing regions. Every piece adds to the toxic burden your system carries silently year after year. The nostalgia is real and meaningful and connects you to happy memories. The danger is also real and meaningful and threatens your future health. Both things can be true simultaneously, even when it hurts to acknowledge. At number 2, we have Alter Eco. Alter Eco wraps itself in environmental and social virtue that appeals to conscious consumers who want their purchases to mean something. Carbon-neutral operations certified by independent bodies who verify the claims. Compostable packaging that breaks down naturally instead of polluting oceans. Regenerative farming practices that improve soil health over time rather than depleting it. Fair trade certification that guarantees farmer income and community development. You feel virtuous buying it because you are saving the planet while enjoying an indulgent treat. The packaging tells you that you are making a positive difference with every purchase. But virtue signaling does not filter heavy metals from cocoa beans, no matter how sincere the intentions behind it or how genuine the environmental commitment appears to be. Testing has found concerning levels of cadmium in various premium dark chocolate brands, marketed specifically to health-conscious consumers who are trying to do everything right for their bodies and the planet. The 85% dark chocolate bars, marketed to consumers seeking maximum antioxidant benefits, often contain the highest concentrations of heavy metals for a simple scientific reason. Higher cocoa percentages concentrate whatever contaminants exist in the beans naturally, because there is more cocoa and less sugar diluting the contamination. For seniors who choose Alter Eco, because they want their purchases to mean something beyond personal pleasure, this is a double betrayal of everything you value. You paid premium prices willingly because the cause mattered. You supported environmental sustainability actively because you care about future generations. You selected high-percentage dark chocolate specifically for the advertised health benefits because you read the studies, and you received heavy metals that accumulate in your kidneys and bones and cardiovascular system over months and years of well-intentioned consumption. The ethical packaging distracts your attention from contamination hiding inside the wrapper. The environmental messaging makes you feel virtuous, while toxic compounds enter your bloodstream silently. The planet is being protected by your thoughtful purchasing choices. Your kidneys are not protected protected at all by those same choices. Ever noticed how brands keep having contamination issues, but nothing fundamental ever changes in the industry? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And now at number 1, the chocolate brand Australian seniors must absolutely avoid is Theo Chocolate. Theo Chocolate positions itself as America's first organic and fair trade chocolate factory, built from the ground up with transparency as its core mission. They offer factory tours in Seattle that show every step of production from bean to bar, with nothing hidden. They emphasize bean-to-bar transparency that supposedly reveals everything about how your chocolate is made. They promise you can trace your chocolate from farm to wrap with complete visibility into the entire supply chain. The entire brand identity is built on trust and openness, and doing things differently than industrial chocolate manufacturers who prioritize efficiency over honesty. But when Consumer Reports tested Theo chocolate products, the results shattered that carefully constructed trust completely and irreversibly. Multiple Theo dark chocolate bars contained both lead and cadmium at levels that exceeded safe daily exposure limits for adults who consume chocolate regularly. The organic certification did not prevent contamination from reaching consumers who trusted those certifications. The fair trade sourcing did not filter heavy metals from the supply chain despite the premium prices charged. The bean-to-bar transparency showed everything except the toxic compounds hiding in the final product that customers trusted completely based on the company's stated values. For seniors who sought out Theo specifically because they wanted to know exactly what was in their chocolate, this is the ultimate betrayal of consumer trust that the brand promised to honor. You chose the most transparent brand available anywhere in the global market because transparency mattered to you. You paid premium prices that should guarantee premium outcomes for your health. You believed the factory tour photos and the sourcing stories and the mission statements and the founder interviews. You trusted a company that built its entire identity on being trustworthy and transparent and fundamentally different from corporate chocolate. And they sold you chocolate contaminated with lead and cadmium at concerning levels that exceed what regulators consider safe. Lead damages cognitive function progressively over years of exposure in ways that mimic natural aging. It raises blood pressure, making medication less effective and forcing dosage increases. It accumulates in bones, weakening your skeleton over decades of consumption. Cadmium targets kidneys, causing progressive damage to filtration capacity that cannot be reversed once it occurs. It is classified as a human carcinogen by international health bodies who study these compounds carefully. Neither compound leaves your body easily once absorbed into tissue and bone. The accumulation happens silently and invisibly while you believe you are making the healthiest choice possible for yourself and your family. Theo's website talks enthusiastically about changing the chocolate industry and doing things better than the competition. What they actually deliver is the same contamination found across the entire industry, wrapped in better marketing and higher prices, and more compelling storytelling. The narrative changes and improves. The contamination remains exactly the same. Do you think government regulators protect consumers, or the chocolate industry that employs lobbyists? When brands like Theo can sell contaminated products while advertising unprecedented transparency, what does that tell you about who is really being protected by current regulations and enforcement priorities? Now, after everything we have revealed, you might be wondering if any chocolate is actually safe for Australian seniors to consume without worrying about hidden dangers. The heavy metals are in the soil at origin in tropical growing regions. The contamination is embedded in the global supply chain that all manufacturers rely on. It seems like every brand fails the same independent tests regardless of price or positioning or promises or certifications. But there are exceptions. There are brands that source differently from carefully selected regions, with cleaner soil. They test rigorously using independent laboratories, with no financial stake in the results. They consistently pass analysis for both lead and cadmium at safe levels that protect long-term health. The first safe option is Taza Chocolate. Taza Chocolate is a stone-ground organic chocolate company based in Massachusetts in the United States that does things fundamentally differently. But what sets them apart from every other organic chocolate maker claiming purity is not their distinctive gritty texture or their organic certification that other brands also carry. It is their testing protocols and careful sourcing practices that prioritize safety above marketing claims. When Consumer Reports conducted independent laboratory analysis using the same rigorous methods applied to all brands, Taza's dark chocolate products consistently tested below, concerning levels for both lead and cadmium. The company sources specifically from regions with lower soil contamination based on geological testing and implements additional quality verification throughout their entire production process, from bean selection to finished bar. For seniors seeking dark chocolate that actually delivers antioxidant benefits without heavy metal accumulation over time, Taza represents a genuinely safer choice, backed by independent verification from laboratories with no financial connection to the company. The stone ground texture is different from smooth European-style chocolate that most people expect. It is grainier with more pronounced cocoa notes and a slight rustic crunch that takes adjustment. But that distinctive texture comes with significantly lower contamination risk that protects your health for years to come. Taza proves that clean chocolate is genuinely possible when a company prioritizes testing and sourcing and safety over marketing and profit margins, and compelling storytelling. The extra effort required to find it at specialty retailers or order online is worth the protection it provides for your kidneys and cardiovascular system and bones over a lifetime of enjoyment. The second safe option is Valrhona Professional Chocolate. Valrhona is a French chocolate manufacturer based in the Rhone Valley that supplies professional pastry chefs worldwide with premium ingredients they stake their reputations on. Their products are available to consumers, though they are less commonly found in mainstream supermarkets and require seeking out specialty food stores or ordering from online retailers who import directly. Independent testing found that Valrhona's dark chocolate products consistently showed lower levels of lead and cadmium compared to most retail brands sold in supermarkets and specialty stores alike. The company maintains strict quality control standards developed specifically for professional culinary applications, where consistency matters for recipe development and chef reputation. Those standards exceed typical consumer product requirements by a significant margin because professional chefs demand reliability that their careers depend on. For seniors who want high-quality dark chocolate without the heavy metal concerns found in supermarket brands, Valrhona offers a genuinely safer alternative that also happens to taste exceptional compared to anything on typical store shelves. The flavor profiles are complex and nuanced with characteristics developed for professional palates, trained to detect subtlety and balance. The sourcing and testing protocols are rigorous because the professional market demands them and walks away from suppliers who compromise. Valrhona is more expensive than supermarket options and requires seeking out specialty food stores or ordering online from importers who stock professional-grade products. But for your long-term health, that extra effort and cost delivers genuine protection instead of marketing promises and beautiful packaging and compelling origin stories that mask reality. Your kidneys will thank you for decades to come when you choose safety over convenience. Your chocolate should bring you genuine joy, not silently poison your organs while you trust familiar brands. Subscribe now, and if you are watching on TV, tap your remote so you never get blindsided again.